Hey, Jeffrey, welcome to Kansas City. Just curious how much you've got to watch the Chiefs or follow the Chiefs the last few years and what you know about what they have going on here.
Yeah, you honestly playing football, obviously at a high level. Just watching football on Sundays. After your games on Saturdays, you're so used to seeing watching the Chiefs and everything that they do great, right? Especially obviously they have Patrick Mahomes, great quarterback who's always being talked about. So just a great organization and great program, right, and great culture filled with great people, right, and then all the history that they've had over the past couple of years, guys in the past, Alex Smith, and then, legendary head coach Andy Reid, and then especially in my room, guys like Nick Bolton. So I think, just having the opportunity to be able to, watch them and then now be a part of that, I think it means a lot. And I'm so blessed to be in this opportunity and be in this position.
Okay, we'll go next to Pete Sweeney.
Congratulations. Welcome to Kansas City. Was curious if you could talk a little bit about your early transition from the safety position and maybe how that's aided you at the linebacker position.
Could you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your transition from the safety position and how, and know you're a wide receiver as well in high school, and how that's aided you at the linebacker position.
Yeah, so throughout high school, coming out of college, I came out of college as safety, and then my first year under Coach Cristobal, it was week one. I was behind two seniors at the time, still playing that star nickel position. Didn't really get a lot of PT when it came to defensive snaps, but got a lot of playing time when it came to special teams. And then week two, we were going to go play Ohio State. Their place, it was CJ Stroud's first start, if I can remember, that 2021 season. And so leading up to the week, that walkthrough that Sunday or Monday, my DB coach at the time, Marcel Yates, came up to me and he told me that we had some injuries in the linebacker room, and I know that you're a guy who's really smart and wants to, make a huge contribution to the team and, make impact. And I wanted to play early. So he knew all of my goals. And so we knew that I was the biggest safety in the room. And so they put me in the linebacker room, and they were just saying, like, if you can go in and learn these plays and you can change the impact of, your career, and, making that transition from safety to linebacker can help you out a lot when it comes to, coverage, or when it comes to just knowing the full defense, right? So I took that opportunity around with it. I'm so blessed that, I had that opportunity to, have a little bit of adversity with a position change, early on in my career, to be able to help me be the player and man that I am today.
We'll go next to Taylor Kaufman.
Hey there. Congratulations. Just wanted to ask you, Jonathan Howard, the scout that said he'd been kind of looking at you since you were an underclassman. How's that feel? Does it make it feel a little better coming to a team that, they've had their eyes on you for so long?
100%. I think it's kind of surreal because throughout your 4 years being at Oregon or being in college, like, you head out to practices in the off season and you're at the games, but you see all the scouts on the sideline and you really don't know what they're writing down or, what specific things they're looking for. And, like, you never really sit down and have a conversation with them one-on-one until it comes to the Senior Bowl or it comes to bowl games, throughout the pre-draft process. And then, you get calls from scouts here and there, and then as well as the combine, right? So for just me to have the opportunity for, him recruiting me all the way up until now, with them putting full trust and belief in me to finally put my name on the card and, be be an addition to this great organization means a lot. And I'm so blessed and so grateful.
We'll go next to Matt Derrick.
Hey, Jeffrey, congratulations. I got a couple of questions for you. First, you mentioned the moving around and playing different positions, but inside, outside, at the NFL level and coming out of that hybrid front the last few years, what position do you see yourself best suited to? Is it Will? Is it Mike? Do you feel like you can move back between the two pretty easily?
Yeah, really either or. Whatever position that, Coach Spags and Coach Reed and all the coaches see me at, I really feel like I'll be most comfortable in. Really, my main mindset heading into, this first year is going to be to learn from guys like, Drew and guys like Nick. So be able to come in with a growth mindset, with an open mindset, whatever position that they see me at, that's the position that I'm going to master and put my best foot forward for.
How much have you watched the Chiefs and this defense in particular, and the linebackers? And so, how much do you know about them already?
Yeah, I know a lot about them. Obviously, them re-signing Nick Bolton this past, free agency, right? And then as well as the defense. Everybody, Coach Spags is crazy when it comes to defense, being a great defensive mind, right? With the blitzes and, zone coverages and zone dogs that he draws up, right? So with them just having elite defense, I feel like, I'm a guy who takes a lot of pride in watching a lot of film. And, when I'm not watching or when I'm not playing football or, at practice, I'm always watching football, right? So when I have the opportunity to see the Chiefs on the field, just seeing all the linebackers flying around, how much of an impact they have on the success of their defense, I'm so grateful to be in that position now.
Okay, let's go next to Nick Jacobs.
Sydney, I'll have a follow-up if I can, please. Jeffrey, first off, welcome to Kansas City.
Thank you.
And my first question for you is, when an opponent watches you on tape, what do you want them to see about you? What are you trying to put on tape?
Yeah, a physical linebacker that can really do it all. A guy that you really have to have a lot of, scout or a lot of key points down for, right? Just not a guy who's just going to be singular and that you can, stop my game just by doing this. A guy that you're going to have to bring a lot of tools out of your arsenal to stop me, right? So a linebacker that can cover, a linebacker that can also stop the run. But then if I'm matched up on receivers in coverage, sometimes if, that's going to happen in certain coverages, right? That's no mismatch for me, because especially with my speed and just from what I've done in my DB days, right? And so I feel like also a smart linebacker that can also, blitz off the edge, but then blitz interior, be matched up on, linemen when it comes to blitzing, getting sent home on blitzes, but then as well as when I'm matched up on running backs and pass protection, a guy who's going to win. So you better bring in a game for that.
And for you, who's been the most influential in your football career that's really helped you get to this point?
Yeah, most influential, I would have to say, is Dan Lanning. Yeah, with him, coming over from Georgia, all the Georgia linebackers that he's coached, all the knowledge that he's instilled in me from just him truly being he's a head coach, but truly he's a linebacker coach at heart, right? With a great defensive mind. I feel like he's been, so impactful on my growth and development. I'm so grateful and appreciative for him. And I feel like, I wouldn't be here, the linebacker that I am today without him.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell.
Hey, Jeffrey, you mentioned Coach Lanning. Have you chatted with him since? Obviously, he's got major ties here to Kansas City. I mean, have you guys chatted about that since your draft pick?
Yeah, he was actually one of the first people to call me. They're getting ready for their spring game right now, but yeah, he FaceTimed me. So me and him chopped it up for a little bit, but yeah, it was crazy. Just like you mentioned, he has a lot of love for, Kansas City. So I'll talk with him just for a little bit.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope.
Hey, Jeffrey, welcome to Kansas City, man.
Thank you.
Chiefs national scout Jonathan Howard tells us that they made the trade because they were surprised you were still available on the draft board. How surprised were you that they did move up and that you were also still on the board?
Yeah, the draft is, a lot of crazy things happen, right? So it really tests your patience, right? And patience is one of the main things that I live by, right? Faith, ambition, and patience are the three things that I live by every day. And so, you're sitting there I'm sitting there with my family, right? And, there's a lot of linebackers going off the board and, teams have their needs, right? And so I'm for sure going to remember every linebacker that came off the board before me and, use that as fuel and motivation for sure, because that's just the dog that I am and the person that I am, right? So, but, just sitting there being patient, but then as well as, for them to say that, be surprised that I'm still on the board and, them having the trust and belief in me, says a lot about, what they think of me, right? So I'm so blessed and grateful that they, traded up, future picks or whatever picks it was to be able to come and get me. So I'm so blessed to be a part of this organization now.
And last, we'll go to Matt Foster.
Hey, Jeffrey, welcome to town and congrats. First off, do you already have the Chiefs hat on, ready to go?
I do. Yeah, it's a little tilted up. I'll tilt it down for y'all, but yeah, I'm ready to go.
And I guess my question really, how did the culture at Oregon kind of prepare you for the NFL, and specifically, how will that preparation make you a seamless fit to the Chiefs organization?
Yeah, I think just the work that we put in, day out, me being a guy who stayed at Oregon for all 4 years, to be able to go through, a coaching change and, stay there for, the next 3 years. Right. But I think just the culture that we have at Oregon, just being playing a physical brand of football, but then also being fast on the defensive side of the ball, I'm speaking, but as well as just the connection and bond that we have with one another. I feel like the Chiefs have the same exact type of culture, and even better, championship type of culture where guys, have true, genuine love and connection and a true brotherhood and bond for each other, right? So, and you see that out of the linebacker room. Those guys really love each other, right? And especially the guys on defense as well. So I feel like that helped me translate, or that's going to help me translate into the Chiefs locker room very well. A guy who's going to come in with a growth and open mindset, a guy who's going to be a sponge to learn from vets and learn from, other rookies beside me, but just a guy who's going to come in and, put his best foot forward every day. I'm going to give my best and my all for, the city of Kansas City.